Oh, look at this hardware, man. SBA, got the Latin American camera. Showing it for the camera. Now that's...
They got some trainers say, and some fighters say, well, I don't watch videos of the guy fighting. I let the coach watch it. Hey, man.
Guys, one thing we know for sure about Wilder, he hit you clean. Right. And
this woman whooped the whole world twice. The whole world.
Good morning. What's going on? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the world, H-Time. Happy Mother's Day. It's another episode of a Soapboxing Podcast. We are live this morning with the the okayest trainer ever, OTE, Coach Collinsworth. And we are super excited to have a special guest today, Jiffy Morales, aka the Princess of Boxing. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on this morning. How's your Sunday morning starting off?
It's going good. Woke up about an hour ago, but I'm ready. How are y'all doing?
Good. Thank you.
Good.
Man, we want to wish everyone go ahead.
Flow.
No, I was gonna say I want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day out there, man. All the moms in the world, thank you for everything that you do. I want to give a shout out to my wife. Wish her a happy Mother's Day as well. She's given me two beautiful daughters, so thank you for that. And yeah, man, let's get this show started, bro.
How y'all want to open it up, man? We can get the fight out the way.
might as well.
Jiffy, you watch the fight? We got a froze. Somebody called. I didn't tell him. You
That's
told him?
right. Nah, I forget. We need to have like a little disclaimer that we send out to all our guests. Oh, here she comes. Let's see how we're gonna do this. Well, while she gets situated, yeah, man, that fight was a good fight last night. I mean, what are you gonna say, man? It's fucking Canelo. He's fucking best pound for pound fighter right now. He's the greatest fighter that we have going on. It's just anytime he puts on a show, he's just gonna put on a show. I mean,
it's good to see the growth in your boxing understanding, bro. I feel like my time isn't wasted. Anytime I'm able to add to anyone's analytical thinking about the sport, I feel like I've done something.
Anytime anybody in their own field, in their own element. I mean, I love what he did in the eighth round, where he just got the fans involved, man. He was like he was a showman, and he's rattling up.
He added something this fight. And including the build-up, because Canelo Alvarez is a man of a few words in the public. So when he was jousting with Billy Joe a little bit, including at the hotel, and I mean, you and I know, you know from being a boxing insider and in the business, you bump into motherfuckers constantly. Your opponent's gonna be set up to do his media, do everything, just passing each other in the hall, man. And I knew Billy Joe is a cerebral guy. He tries to play the mind games and try to get any advantage he can. And I think Canelo wasn't having it with this one. Canelo was like, "Hey man, F you, I'm gonna kick your ass." You know what I'm saying? You out of here. So Yeah, that was something he added.
I think there was a couple factors to that. One, it was in front of 80,000. I think it was 80,000 fans, right?
I seen another 73,400, something like that. Like, yeah, man. The biggest in the U.S., I believe.
Yeah, biggest turnout. I mean, that's you're on the biggest stage. That's ridiculous. What else you gonna do when you're on that platform? You got to show up and do exactly what he did for the fans, for the press conference, for the fight. Even during the interviews, and I don't know if you caught this or not, but even during the interviews, he was talking more English than I've ever seen him talk. The motherfucker knows how to speak English. So he's getting more comfortable. He's getting more comfortable in his throne, I guess.
I agree with that, and I believe, not that he speaks English like you and I, but I believe he speaks it, and I believe he wasn't doing that on purpose to keep it for his Mexico. I mean, he represents Mexico and everything he does. Everything he opens his mouth and says, any clothes he wears, every fucking thing. So I think that was kind of traditionally a Mexican thing. I'm a Mexican representative, so I don't want that to get blurred. But I tell you, I think this kid has and great.
Now, his not speaking in English, it comes from as a Mexican and being from over there. The last thing that you want to do is sound like a goofball when you're trying to speak English, and so you won't catch a lot of people speak English because they don't want to say a word and they come off the wrong way. But once you get comfortable enough, and I think that's what we saw last night, is that he's finally getting comfortable, especially in front of 80,000 people, to say, I'm going to be me, and whether I say something right or wrong, I don't care because I'm fucking Canelo fucking Alvarez. And that's what I've been waiting to see, is that fuck it, I'm me. There's no pressure, there's no nothing. And I thought it was a beautiful thing. Watching him speak English and feel comfortable in those interviews was just as great for me as a fan as the way he dominated that ring and was riling those fans up and doing his thing. I thought it was amazing.
Let me add to this.
All the way around.
Let me add to that. I couldn't have known about that aspect what you're talking about. Like he didn't want to misspeak or whatever.
Right.
So I'm sure that's there. But I also been in boxing forever, and I know that the Mexicans don't want to almost enter that De La Hoya world where they un-Mexican Mexicans or whatever. So I know I've seen there was sneak gym footage where he's talking in English to the fucking fighters and shit. But yet when he gets up there, he never speaks in English. But to that point, and I'm agreeing with you, I didn't know that, so I'm sure that has a big gravity to it. But now this kid has eclipsed. He's a global.
Right.
Let me say
it's almost like a crossover.
Yes, like a artist that locked in the hip hop thing, but now they done made an MC Hammer fucking record, and now they selling oodles of records that's bigger. But that's my point. With the kid being, hey Jiffy, you're back. I mean, you gotta put the phone on do not disturb. Otherwise, if you get calls, it's gonna knock us off every time.
Okay.
I forgot to tell you that. I'm sorry. But he crossed over to the part where he's a global dude. 73,000 fans, and there wasn't an American in that ring. That's the Hispanic population of America. That's American boxing. That's 73,000. That's a football stadium. That's the Dallas Cowboys football stadium. It wasn't American, no way in it. Was the referee American? Maybe he was an American. I don't know. But this kid has crossed over to global icon or star, or whatever you want to call it. And I think him going, to your point, Fresh, him going, fuck it, bro. I'm the king now. I can get up here and say in English, hey, fuck you, man. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter. It no longer matters. We know you represent Mexico to the fullest. We know you're Mexican as shit. Everything about you, from your entrance to your clothes to everything. So he's got that locked. And now he's telling the world, hey, I'm the baddest motherfucker in boxing gloves, and I done crossed over. So that's what I think is comfortable with doing interviews in English and talking in English and shit. Now, he didn't never want to get into that Oscar De La Hoya world where the Mexican, and it still happened. It still happened. Half of the Mexicans hate him. But he still wanted to say, hey, man, I'm Mexican as shit, and I'm representing our country, and I'm doing us well, and I'm doing us different than anybody ever done this before. So he wanted to keep that shit solid, bro. And now he done eclipsed that shit, and I'm sure he'll still keep it Mexican like a motherfucker. But Mexican world kicking ass. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the baddest motherfucker on earth. So what y'all want to do? And this is a beautiful thing to watch, man. This kid had this shit. I told you, and I remember Fresh used to it was like an allergy, Jiffy. I said, and that motherfucker break out in hives. I tell that motherfucker, I say, this kid's doing shit that ain't been done since Henry Armstrong, man. Look at the record books. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Da, da, da. But now I see more and more people saying, bro, what the fuck can you say, man? This kid is whooping everybody. Been for a decade whooping world champions, man. Wow. This is phenomenal, bro.
Hey, listen, I agree with Coach. The only thing now that I would like to see is, him fight some real opponents.
You hear this shit? You hear this motherfucker? I got it. Watch this.
All right, Jiffy. Well, welcome back. You had some technical.
Hey, you laugh, but there's motherfuckers out there like that. Last night I got a text. Man, there ain't nobody in the 6-8 division, man. He's fighting powder puffs.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Oh,
I did think that Billy Joe had a shot. Like, I've always been a Canelo fan, but I was thinking if anybody could have a good competition and maybe beat him, it might be Billy Joe. But
he's that good. Billy Joe's that good.
Yeah.
And Jim, I was sitting there, and Quentin was sitting right there. It was just me and him at the house, right? He was helping me hang a mirror. Mama had a new mirror she wanted to hang up, and I needed another person. So I called his ass. I said, I need your help. So he watched the fight. And I swear, I know exactly because I was watching that time. It was 1 minute and 50 seconds into the first round. I'm sorry, 1 minute and 50 seconds left in the first round. And I said, he got him. He got him already. He done seen everything he needs to see.
Yeah.
And now he's going forward, and he's just going to punch this kid's lights out. And Quentin goes, yep, I see it. And I was like, damn. And I text our group. We have our gym, our crew has a group. And I said, well, this fight's it's over. It's a matter of time. Because once he locks in, the kid goes. He goes. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
It's something that I say a lot, and I know it drives Derek crazy sometimes, but I think Canelo's so good that you're right. He did download a lot of information that first round. I still think that Canelo carries a lot of these fights just to make them for the business sense of it. And we all knew that Canelo wanted to fucking knock this guy out or stop the fight in the 7th, 8th, or 9th round. And that's why we saw what we saw in the 8th round. It was pure dominance. Once that 8th round was pure fucking dominance from the body shots to the shot to the head to the way he was rallying in the fans. I think that was very strategic. And I think he's just that good. He let Billy Saunders get off a couple rounds and do his thing. We all know. I mean, even Canelo after the fight said, the plan was for me to start fighting after the 7th and 8th round. That was out of his own very fucking words. So,
because like me and Jeffrey say, Billy Joe was supposed to run out ahead actually and start boxing and win some early rounds. And I'm sure Canelo said this motherfucker is probably gonna jump out ahead with that awkward timing and awkward angles and shit. But I'm telling you, a minute 50 seconds left, he already said, no, this kid don't got it. But let me say this, Fresh. Let me say this, Fresh. I believe what you're seeing as carrying, this is how I see it. You're seeing it's a weird thing, but it's real. You're seeing pressured patience. So even when he's not punching, he's chipping away. He's chipping away forward, and it's making the guy react. And I remember at some point, Hugh said, "Shit, Billy Joe won this round." And I said, "Yeah." And it was another round. He said, "Billy Joe won that round." I said, "Yeah." But here's the thing about winning those rounds. He's winning them because he's punching, and Canelo's not. He's pressuring him, patiently pressuring him, still making this motherfucker work without punching, so he can bite down. And the power shots, if you look at the numbers, his power shots landed at like damn near 35%, man. It was fucking ridiculous. So he wasn't jabbing, nor should he. He's 5'7". This kid's little bitty, bro. So he's pressuring this guy with feints, and he's stepping, and he's chipping, and he's chipping. And when he chips, if Billy Joe fucks up, right hand, bam, to the body. Bam, he was hitting right to the body. And it's a beautiful thing to watch if you understand what he's doing, man. And I don't think the majority of boxing fans, or let's just say Canelo naysayers, guys who's not Canelo fans, I really don't think they pick up on that shit. I really think they think he's like, I think when they watch that, they think Billy Joe's winning those rounds. Like he did something that's winning those rounds and it's causing Canelo a problem rather than what's happening. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, I did hear some people say like before the fight was stopped that they had Billy Joe up.
Oh, it's a lot of them, and they either saying the managers are saying Billy Joe was winning, or he's nobody. Yeah, he shouldn't have been in the ring. I'm like, God damn, which one is it, bro? Y'all can't give this kid no credit. You can't give him no credit. This guy, Billy Joe, won a gold medal at the Worlds, right? That's the highest elite, other than an Olympic gold medal. That's the highest amateur medal you can fucking win. He's a 2-time world champion, bro. If he don't belong in the fucking ring, who does? Yeah. Certainly not Boo-Boo Andre and fucking Caleb Plant. Who the fuck did they fight? But I'm telling you, when Canelo fights them, and he does them, and he cooks their ass, it's gonna be, they didn't never do nothing. He shouldn't have been. And I love that Canelo is vocal now, saying it don't fucking matter. Whatever I do, it don't matter. I'm gonna just keep building my legacy. And when they look back at the record books, they gonna say, Jesus Christ, this dude was 5'7", came from welterweight, and did all this shit, man. That's what's gonna matter in the end. I hope. Told you.
I hope because he's only 30. He doesn't do anything or nothing stupid happens to mess that up, because he still has plenty of time to do amazing things. And I hope that he continues to protect that. So,
but he has like that spirit where he's like rooted. It seems like he's very disciplined and grounded in like who he is. It doesn't seem like he'll. I mean, you never know, but it never seems. Right. Drift off.
We don't know his personal business, but watching that, I tell you, I don't know if you watched it. If you go watch it when we get off or whenever you get some time, but he finally did that, and he did it in a lot of it in English. He did that with Graham. What's his name? Something Graham. He did an in-depth. I've seen this guy interview Tyson and all these guys. He's a journalist, and he went to Canelo's house and shit, and it's broke up in like 15-minute intervals, so I'm sure it was like a 2-hour deal. I mean, he got gritty on De La Hoya and Golden Boy and everybody, and you really get to see who this kid is, and he's so laser focused. He so wants to be together. And they do the thing where he shows you all the cars and these expensive horses and shit he owns, and this kid still gets up for these fights. It's amazing, man, and that's a testament to who.
There ain't nothing wrong. There ain't nothing wrong with the cars and the money. If the money,
No, I'm saying, they did that. They showed that part of him. He had the doom buggies and shit, and he's playing and having a big good time. But when they got serious about the talk about boxing and about the business of boxing, I think you get to see who he is. And that the zone thing they did is about a 25-minute thing. They actually show where this kid comes from, how his mother and father divorced, and he had to go with his dad. And he's selling fucking ice cream in the street of Mexico, some fucking where. And to this, and it's like, I really don't know what is not to like about this kid. I really don't. This kid come from nothing and became this, and still going like Fresh said. He's 30 years old. 30 years old is young in boxing now. I remember when I was a kid, 30, you're on the backslide, because Ali was 32 when he fought George Foreman. They say he was done. He shouldn't even be in the fucking ring. This kid is 30, man, and to be honest with you, he's got a lot more he can do.
Mayweather
was 36. He can do, man.
Mayweather was 36 when he fought Canelo.
And what people don't like to know, and Floyd, listen, man, I know people are saying, now this, here you go, Fresh, I'll give you a knock on Canelo's deal so you can hold that and have something. Hey, bro, a lot of people don't understand that Lil Floyd, bro, slipped long before he fucking retired, bro. But he was so fucking great that he was able to adjust his style of fighting, be more defensive, and cook these boys. Because if you think 36-year-old Floyd Mayweather Jr. was Floyd Mayweather who walked through Diego Corrales, you out of your fucking mind, man. That's to me, that was Floyd prime. You know, rare to go. Because he was a true lightweight, like, you know, what would you say? Yeah, lightweight was, I would say, his best, his highest peak, everything. So by 36, able to still defeat this young bull coming. And what I'm saying is, because Canelo said, you know, in my prime, I would get him. You know what I'm saying? Well, in your prime, you're a lot more man than him and a bigger, different size. But you didn't fight Floyd in his prime either. So it's almost like a mythical. We would have to mythical match them up, because you got to say.
What age? What are we in Canelo's prime right now? At 30?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
I was like 34, 35.
So this kid is so strong, but his ring generalship, his understanding of distance and range is second to none in the game. So to me, this oh man. And you're right, Jim, he might stay in that prime. We might be in that window that's 3-4 years of because man, these guys are way bigger than this fucking man. I know people don't think that because those big boys are spreading their legs, but they spreading their legs in order to try to stand their ground against this motherfucker. And that's the wrong thing to do. Because you stand your ground, he's gonna cook your ass, man. Yeah, I think we're in that window. He's absolutely in his prime, and like Jiffy said, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but shit, 34, 30, you know, hell yeah, we in the prime, man.
And I love to see him at this weight too. He looks like so much more comfortable. Like he just looks like himself.
Genetically, you're right. Genetically, he's just a Mexican. He's not gonna be tall, but he can be strong and stocky built, and he can stand his ground. And because goddamn, a slight, you know, it's a reason why Mexicans only box. They too sharp to play basketball. They got. I'm picking, y'all. Don't write fucking letters and shit. They know I'm picking. I'm picking.
Motherfuckers know about me in basketball, Dave. Don't worry about that.
But seriously, his body, he probably was killing himself. Jiffy to make 47 and 54. Yeah. He probably was, because genetically he's a bigger guy. He's just not long and tall, but it doesn't matter because he understands. He understands how to fight these boys, and it's awesome, man.
All right.
That's
Well,
awesome.
we talked enough about the diva. Let's talk about the princess now.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Sorry, Canelo.
Jiffy, you need me to take it down?
No.
You want me to take it?
I'll give you one.
She
So
said
you
no.
can get
She said no. So listen, I'm really excited because I wanted to learn some more about you, and I thought you were a lot younger than. How old are you?
I'm 32.
See, I thought you were like 15 or 16 when I first
Wow. Okay.
when I first started following you, which is a compliment. You look extremely young,
Thank you.
So I found out you've been in this game for a while, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And so where are you from? You're not from Texas. You're from.
No, so I was born in South Carolina and I was raised in Florida.
Okay, so let's start there. How did your boxing career start? How did your boxing experience start?
So when I graduated from high school in Florida, I moved to California. And in California is where I started boxing. And I actually started I just started just to like try to like lose weight or whatever. But I think after about a week, some of the coaches were like, "You should probably join the competition team." And I was like, "For what?" Like, oh. And so I did. And I actually didn't have any fights in California. And I think after like a year, I transferred to school out here. I went to Texas Southern University. And when I got out here, I didn't know anybody. I actually was following behind a guy. We're not together anymore. But
Part of makes you though.
Huh?
Part of what makes you though. Part of the story.
Oh yeah.
You know?
So I followed behind him. I'm glad that I came out here. And I went to Texas Southern University, and I was like, oh my God, like there's nothing that I want to do. There's nobody that I know. So I started a college boxing team at TSU, and so then I started competing in college boxing. But when I started competing, women weren't allowed to fight at like the regional or national level. So I was like training a bunch of guys, and I was like getting them all championships. And I'm like, but I can't fight. Like, I fought at different shows, and we traveled and fought different schools, which was cool. But like I just couldn't see doing that for a long time because we weren't allowed to fight. So me and a bunch of other people got together and we created a collegiate league that allowed women to fight. So I was like one of the very first women to fight in the regional level and the national level. And you guys know Coach Mays. That's where I met Coach Mays because he was a trainer at West Point. And so from college boxing, after I graduated in 2014, I just started like training and fighting like regular amateur USA, and I stayed like in the Houston area, and I made like a pretty good name for myself. Like I branded myself pretty well. Like you would have thought that I was a professional, and people were like waiting to see me, and I fought a lot. And actually my trainer was Carlos Moreno. He's actually Carmen's trainer right now, and he was like 8-9 years. And he was like dear to my heart. And so, but something happened and I ended up leaving him and going to the Charlos. I went to Jamel Charlo and I started like training over there. And at this point, like I had like a really big name for myself, but I don't think that at that point he liked that. He was like, I kind of let him get in my head a little bit. And he was just saying like, amateurs don't need that. Huh?
Who?
Jamel. He was saying like, and I don't know if his intentions were good. I'm not sure, but he was just saying like, amateurs don't need that. Just wait until you get on a different level. And I listened to that because I respected it. And, like I wanted to be where he was. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a step back. So I just got into like a really like a bad spot. I called my manager. I was like, hey, I had a manager. I was like, hey, take the website down,
Wow.
delete all the pages. Like I did all of that. And then I just got into like some things happened. I ended up leaving Jermel, and then I went into like a deep dark space, and I disappeared. And the goal was always to go to the Olympics, but I never made it that far. Like I was in a deep dark space. Like I'm glad that I went through it, because otherwise, like I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. And then I ended up having 2 kids, and now one is 4, the other one is 1, and I just came back to boxing in October of 2020. Or 20, yeah, what year are we in? Yeah, so I just came back in October, and I remember saying like, this is my second chance, and I'm gonna do it the right way, and I'm not gonna go back to amateur. There's no point in that, and so now I'm here, like, training to turn professional, and I'm at mainstream with Aaron and Bobby.
Well, that's what's up. Wow.
You couldn't be surrounded with 2 better guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to that point, I think I think that's a lesson, the lesson that's going to serve you well, and continue to tell that story, because other people need to hear. It's so important to make sure you surround yourself with the right people who are going to support you, who are going to guide you, who are going to tell you the truth, but also going to want to see you succeed, and not try to I don't know what the word would be, but like to cover your shine or to make you feel less, because they might feel I don't know, I guess the word lack of a better word would be intimidated. Anyone
I'm not sure what that was about. I honestly, like, I don't know. Maybe it was coming from.
Let me tell you something, Jiffy, and this is a lesson that I think a lot of people need to learn, and I learned, and believe it or not, my wife of well, hell, we've been together 21 years, 22 years, something like that. But my wife, I've learned a lot from that woman, and one of the biggest things I learned that was totally over my head, even as a young man coming up from the fighting family, and then dabbled in the music and doing everything that I wanted to do, right? A street kid. My wife basically told me, make sure, and I put it into my own terms, because I said, make sure motherfuckers don't keep constantly telling you to humble yourself or small yourself because they feel small standing next to you. That's a great lesson that somebody, now, don't be an asshole. Don't try to say I'm better than everybody and nothing like that. But don't make sure the person telling you to be humble ain't telling you that because you make him feel uncomfortable or her feel uncomfortable by being you. Yeah. And I think more people need to hear that shit, man, because humble, that's a word that gets twisted. Humble is not small yourself. Humble is don't be a jerk, don't belittle people, don't gloat as if I'm better than you. But goddamn me, if I'm worth a shit, I can say I'm worth a shit. And damn if you don't like it, I don't gotta make myself look small to make you feel better. That's what I'm saying. And it's amazing that the different people in different walks of life, and it doesn't matter their success level, baby. It doesn't matter at all. They can be millionaires and feel threatened by you or by this person because just you being you.
I would hate to put that out there. Like that's
you being
I'm just hoping that that's not what it was. I really like respected his opinion and listened to it and fuck.
Who knows if that's what it was? Maybe he thought he was giving you the right shit. Who knows? Yeah, I'm just saying, be aware of that with everybody.
What twin was it?
Jermel.
Which one's that one, Coach? The one.
Oh, that's our partner.
Okay, so money, status, skill, talent don't mean shit if your character is deficit. In other words, Yeah, a motherfucker can have money and cars and could be very talented and skillful and good at what they do. But if someone with character comes along and stands next to them, trust me, they're gonna feel intimidated. They're gonna feel like, oh shit, nah, don't do this or don't do that. You know, I need you here. And so my 2 cents is take the names out and take the take the names out of it, but use that story to fucking motivate you and motivate others and inspire others, because it's a very pivotal lesson that I think needs to be told and spread. So Ron, continue to surround yourself.
Fresh been around me 4 or 5 years now, baby, and when I first met him, I was so small and defeated, man. And then what? You ain't buying that shit either, man. Yeah, nah. I tell him motherfucker right now, but shit.
I had to build up his ego and shit. I had to every day after the gym, I had to sit him down and say, "You are great, coach." Go home, look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself, "You are great."
You was smart.
There you go.
Look, it definitely can be detrimental. Like if you listen to the wrong people, or like I don't know what that was about, but I'm glad that it happened because it allowed me to reset.
It's character. Yeah. That's what it was about. It's character.
Well,
it's a person's character.
You know, it allowed me to reset and start to do things in different portions of my life, because you know I did want to be like a huge name in amateur boxing, but I realized that wasn't the route that I was supposed to take. So when I took that time off, you know, I created a business that's like, it's known all over the world, like y'all seen it. And now, like, once I felt like, okay, you know, I got myself back, or I got myself wherever I'm supposed to be, confident or whatever, then I decided, you know what, I'm missing something. Like I feel like a part of me is gone, and the part that I was missing was inside the ring. And so that's when I thought, like, okay, I'm gonna give this a second shot, and I'm gonna go back to boxing, but I'm gonna take like a whole different approach. And it was out of 2 gyms, and I decided to go to Main Street. And actually, Paisley, she's a really good friend of mine, and I was just like, "Hey, girl, you know, how is it at Main Street?" And I ended up going, and I just, you know, I'm not leaving. I really like it. So
that's a great gym.
What'd you say?
That's a great gym with some great coaches in there, man. That's we're gonna be in there next Saturday, huh? We got the Masters tournament over there up there in Main Street. So
okay. It's surrounded by a lot of good people, a lot of good talent too. Like everybody. Absolutely. Now I wouldn't say like at first like everybody was just kind of looking at me like, what are you doing here? But and I really had to prove myself. Like it wasn't easy. Like nobody opened me and, you know, embraced me with open arms. It was just kind of like, okay. And at first I felt like, oh my God, I felt like really small. I was like, okay, you know, I didn't really have a lot of confidence coming back. I had all like this baby weight, and I was like, oh, it's been like 4 years. And, you know, I went in and I was like, okay, well, what do I do? Like, you know, where do I start? And I was just like really shy. And I don't know, one day something, you know what?
A lot of that could have been the competitive nature in Maine. So the fighters are such, and hell, some of them are the same weight class or near the same weight class. And I know when I walk in it, but I'm just used to being around, knowing Bobby 20 years and going to that gym for a long time. I recognize what it is, man. Them kids, it's a very competitive gym. So maybe, and of course, you being a woman, who knows? I don't know how it is to be you walking in there, but I know I feel it walking in there like these boys is looking at each other like food. Yeah.
Yeah, it's being a woman in boxing is a little bit like intimidating too, because it's like, okay, like I don't want to step the wrong way. You know, when I stretch, I turn in the corner. Like I don't want to get in anybody's way, but I'm not like that anymore. When I first went in, I was like shy, and I was just like waiting, like, hey, when am I gonna spar? And now, like, Bobby and Aaron will tell you, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm the only person that literally spars every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They don't have to tell me. I walk in there, I put on all my gear, and I handle my gloves, and I don't ask questions. I don't care who I'm getting in there with. You can be 200 pounds. It does not matter. I will literally work with anybody because all work is good work. Male, female, bring your mama, your daddy. I don't care. Because I told myself, like, this is my second shot. And I'm not going out. Like, I'm not going out like that. I'm not wasting my time. Like, shoot, I got stuff to prove.
I don't blow smoke regardless of I'm there's very few fighters I'm not a fan of, especially once I meet them and talk to them and stuff. But I don't blow smoke. But what I do know is because talking to some of the people in the business, man, we talk about women's boxing a lot, and I'm a big proponent. And most people in the inside of boxing, believe me, they just trying to figure out a way to make it marketable. How do we get these gals on there so we can make some money? They'll fight two frauds if it makes money. They don't give a shit. But I'm such a proponent of women's boxing, so we end up talking about it, and everybody agrees that women. I'm looking for women right now because the road to the top for a woman, though it's hard, is just as hard. And gals can fight today, and it's not the women's division of the 90s and shit. It's not, even though we had great gals that paved that way. They was dragging for competitors and to somebody to sell to the public. Well, now you got all these women who can fight, and it's very competitive, but it's a fast track. Like the girls, 2 fights, 3 fights. Let's put her in there for the title. How much you weigh? Let's put her in there for the title. Now, is the money right? Look, I gotta remind the gals. I'm a huge proponent of women's boxing, but I always want them to remember this: when you're arguing about money and saying, well, the boys get paid more, and they do. But here's the thing: boxing is unlike any team sport because those places are leagues, right? It's why the MMA guys get fucked. Oh, never made this point. I'm making it right now. The MMA guys are getting fucked like women. Watch what I'm saying. Would you not agree that those MMA guys, those Conor McGregors, those guys are globally known? Those guys are draws. The top guys.
Yeah.
How the hell is guys like John Jones and all this biggest person $1 million and shit? You know why? Because he's in a league where it's like a union. It's like the union boss says, you get to work the dock today, you go home, right? Boxing, and believe you me, it's because our roots in organized crime and all that shit. Listen, the commodity is that particular boxer. That's the commodity, not the sport of boxing. That particular boxer, and that's why it doesn't even. We could sell shit sandwiches to somebody if they buy it, if we sell it to them, and they believe it's sugar, right? So I just keep telling women, keep balking, keep squawking, figure out a way. And maybe your way ain't squawking and balking, maybe it's something else. But when you become a commodity, the money comes. So it's less about, and even today, even more so than any time in boxing, I think, it's really less about those titles. Because even the public's catching on now. It's a fucking what title he just won? The 10 furrow WBC? What the fuck is that? Well, if the guy who's carrying the 10 furrow WBC, he makes it worth something, right? So the fighters need to start recognizing that, and the same thing with the women. And this is why I'm such a thing on the GOAT, because fuck you if you don't like it. Fuck you if she keeps telling y'all she's the greatest and you don't care. Because guess what? 2-time gold medalist, 9-time world champion in 10 fights. I'm the shit. Pay me, bitch. Pay me.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta believe that though. Like, if you don't believe that first, nobody else is gonna believe it. Like, you have to sell that.
I think what Coach is saying, and I agree with as well, but I'm going to say it in lesser words, is it's a boxer's market, right? Just like when you're buying and selling a house, sometimes the market is, right now the houses are inflated, right? And right now with boxing, it's a boxer's market. If you can market yourself and if you go out there and perform, you're gonna get paid, because people right now are we're being entertained. We want to watch great boxing, and it's the same thing with women boxers. Yeah, if you're a women boxer and you're listening to this, and we have a lot that are coming up. Stay focused on your goal, focus on your skill and on your marketing, and keep fighting. And sooner or later, a lot sooner, someone's gonna come offer you that check to fight on the because there's too many outlets,
platforms.
You got platforms. You got the Zone. You got Thriller. You got all these people now that are putting on these shows that are looking for that added flavor or flair or I don't like to use the word gimmick because it's boxing, and boxing shouldn't, even with these fucking Jake, whatever the Paul brothers, that's a gimmick. But even so, they're bringing in a new audience, millions of new viewers, and so it is a boxer's market. Now you just have to figure out how to navigate and best position yourself. And for someone like yourself, you're right. Maybe now right now is the time to focus on turning pro. Can't look at the amateur level anymore. Turn pro, tell your story, market yourself, and find that spot where you can get that national or that world recognition and that paycheck eventually.
I've already got like a whole plan. I was like, if I could do it before, and I was as popular as I was before, like, I'm definitely gonna make a name for myself in the pros. Like, anybody that I talk to is like you got it, like you have that it factor, and I believe that first and foremost, and it's not just like it's not just what you see. Like, I can box. Like, y'all gotta come and see me.
Oh, I'm gonna come fuck with you. I'm gonna be there, man. I'm gonna watch, and I'm definitely gonna be there, especially if you're fighting somewhere I can get to. I'm gonna be there, but this women. Watch how ahead of the game I was. But I didn't listen to Fresh with Dogecoin. I should have listened to another motherfucker with this here.
Hey, look, I'm watching it as we speak.
So my wife bought some.
About more than here,
like, my whole portfolio is crack futures. I used to know that's gonna sell itself. I didn't have to invest, so I never learned. Nobody taught me about it. Look, that's a lifetime ago. But look, I remember somebody approached me, right? Remain nameless, because it was just talk, but something could have happened. But anyway, the guy approached me. He said, "Coach," he said, "I got a couple of investors, and they'll put up the capital. Would you be interested in training Clarissa Shields?" I said, "What?" This is her second gold medal after the Olympics, right? I said, "What?" "Yeah, I got a line to Clarissa, and if I could put some capital together to put her up and send her down to Houston and put her in a high rise and shit like they do with you." I said, I said, "Man, you know what kind of fan I am with Clarissa Shields?" I said, "Man, that motherfucking girl is great." I said, "You fucking right." He said, And about around that same time, and it probably never even made it to her ears, because right around the same time she got with the Durrells, and the Durrells some kind of way she ended up with my man Salida and all that, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, how the fuck did that even come to my table, man? Don't y'all know how great this fucking woman is? And she's up in here in Michigan and shit, and boxing as deep as in Michigan as it is in anywhere. You know, probably the greatest fighters in history came out of the Midwest and Michigan in particular. But so she went on to do it, and I'm still a fan, still rooting for her. I never even told her that story before. I need to tell her that shit.
Maybe
but the thing was, I was like, this is Clarissa Shields, man. Y'all don't know how fucking good this girl is. And so that was several years ago, and I'm like, man, the girls' game is so deep, man. You can't. It's going to be money out there. She's going to dominate. Like if there's a lottery ticket that you could buy with a higher percentage of winning, she was it in women's boxing, right? Yeah. And it was like, how is these promoters not going to snatch her up? Like I'm saying, you know, well, I don't even think the Zone was made yet, but Matchroom been around forever. Them English companies and Top Rank and Golden Boy and all these places. Man, how the fuck they ain't snatching this woman up? I'll never understand that for the life of me, except that they wasn't looking into the future of women's boxing, how it's grown, and how once you let them compete on a national level and the world level and the Olympic Games level, it was only going to get exposed and proven to be just as good as anybody. Right? You telling me the Serrano sisters, Sanisa, these gals ain't some of the best fighters on planet Earth? Of course they are. Of course, look at them fight. Look at them fight. So market is going to get there the money wise. I kind of like Marlene when Marlene said, she said, let's get rid of the 2 minute rounds, because we just giving them that last ditch effort to say, oh, well, y'all not doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get rid of it. Y'all spar 3 minutes anyway. So let's go. Yeah, man, I it's coming. Keep squawking, selling yourself, and that's your thing. Jiffy, is like you said, the branding thing when you was an amateur, and then your other businesses. Oh, Fresh, she's an entrepreneur, bro. She's right up your alley, man.
Yeah.
Y'all have a lot to talk about, man. But that thing, man, I just want to help it grow, and I just want to be a super fan of women's boxing, and I also get it out there because anytime I see something being what's the word I'm looking for? Not appreciated that should be, you know, it gets to me. I'm like, all right, let's make this the thing now, because you motherfuckers are late to the store. Kind of like how the Grand Champ, I was telling him about 10 years ago how great this kid was. And
Jimmy, what nationality are you?
I'm a white Puerto Rican.
A white Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Nice.
I knew you had some of us in you. What kind of white? What's your last name?
Morales.
Her last name is Morales.
Yeah.
No, the white part.
Jennifer.
Well, how you a white Puerto Rican? Who? I'm saying, who's the?
Where'd she get the white from?
Yeah, I have French. What ethnicity?
Oh my God! It's a mixture, but it's mostly Irish. I thought it was German for a long time, but it's mostly Irish.
Yeah, your red hair and shit didn't tell you that. You was looking
I
at
thought that was German until I did the 23andMe test. Okay, but
crack ass, you like the whitest of the way. You want us? You want us? But the good thing about good thing about the Irish is we just fair skinned Mexican, gonna drink, go to church, and kick ass. That's all we gonna do.
Yeah.
So tell us.
You did the test, the 23andMe thing.
Yeah, I did.
My
That
wife
shit
wants to
is
do that.
crazy. I tell her don't do it unless she's ready for like all of the emotional part that comes from it. From 23andMe, not only did I find out like, you know, my makeup of my genetics, but I also found my biological father and
What?
all of that side of the family. The story came out that my mom kidnapped me when I was 2 years old from South Carolina from my father, and they have been looking for me for 30 years. Like, I haven't been the same since I found out that information. For real. Like, so if you're not ready to find out information, do not.
Leave it alone.
I just did the test like for a YouTube, channel, a YouTube, and it got a lot of views, but I wasn't ready for that.
That's a whole other episode.
When I've been,
wow.
My wife is from the Midwest. She's from up north. Well, I just say up north. If you pass the Dixie line, you're up north, right? And so we met, and being from New Orleans, you used to all the pretty little black girls saying they fucking Indians, right? And instead of their grandpa being white or whatever. So you're sitting there going, and my wife is going, yeah, this and that. So, and I meet my mother-in-law, right? And she wasn't my mother-in-law, I meet her mama at the time. And her eyes as green as me, right? And damn near my color, but she's a black woman. And I'm looking, I say, this is a case of those old, people saying they ain't white when they got the white in them, right? So when I go up there to where she's from, Kansas, sure enough, they're black and part Native American. Sure enough, I'm talking about card carrying members of the whatever tribe. You know what I'm talking about? How you get like some of them kids go to school and shit because they Indians, but then we get to doing the research, and I say, man, that ain't no fucking Indian with the green eyes and shit. What the fuck is that? So she get to searching it, and sure enough, her grandpa was half white. I said, and Irish, and named McNeil. I said, that ain't no Indian got them green eyes and shit, man. I said, but y'all was you told that, and you don't know. So you with a straight face saying, nah, man, I ain't got no fucking white in me, or I ain't got no fucking black in me, or Mexico, whatever the case may be. And you full of it. You full of it.
I've been lying my whole life and didn't even know it. I was like,
man.
I'm just, I'm German and I'm Puerto Rican. At least I'm still Puerto Rican. Because at first I read it and I was like, wait, no, I don't have the mix up, but I do.
Man. Fresh did it and found out he was a quarter lost tribe of Shabazz. He joined the Nation of Islam last week, and because I was working out, he said, "Crack ass, crack a devil." I said, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
Actually, we did do that in our family. Mine goes all the way back to Spain to some royal family back there. So you're talking to royalty.
Oh shit! It's over.
Hey, so tell us. I want to know about your business, man. Tell us in the world, about what you got going on as well.
Yeah, so I created a business called Smash Therapy. What do you think that is? When you hear Smash Therapy, what comes to mind?
When you breaking shit.
Me at 18.
Stupid. Yeah, so my background, I'm rooted in like therapeutic background. I work at a psych hospital as a mental health director or mental health specialist, and so I usually see people who like have poor impulse control, and this is great because like boxing comes into play, and then my mental health training comes into play, and I see people who have poor impulse control, and when they get pissed off, the first thing they do is like just destroy property. But too many people who are technically diagnosed with mental illnesses are going off to jail or having to pay like crazy amounts of money to fix this property destruction, when really they just needed an outlet and they don't really know how to express themselves. I mean, hence the reason why they're inside the hospital. And I just saw it too much, and I wanted to open a business, and I just didn't know what. And I was like, I don't want to open a boxing gym. That's like so cliche. Like, I don't want to box. I don't want to, train people. And I just couldn't.
Plus, that's just giving money away.
Huh?
Plus, that's just giving money away. Yeah, that's a bad pussy.
Thanks for that. I'm glad I didn't do it. But yeah,
100%.
Buy more Doge.
Yeah, so one day it just kind of clicked. Like somebody at the hospital, broke some stuff and, you know, put holes in the wall, tore the phone down, threw stuff at the nurses. But I saw, like, after he did it, visibly, he was just like, like, he looked like he felt so much better. And my dumb ass went in the middle of the cold while everybody was trying to restrain him and give him a shot. I was like, hey, like, how do you feel? And he was like, I feel good. I was like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. So like from that day on my lunch break, I was like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. And I just started like doing a bunch of research, like how to open a business, and it never, like, I never turned back from there. It was really difficult though, because at first and this is one thing that I learned, when you want to do something, I learned it from the incident that I had before. When you want to do something and you start to tell a lot of people, you're gonna get like a lot of naysayers. And I didn't get good feedback. People were like, don't open that type of business. Like, nobody's going to pay for that. Like, that's so stupid. That's silly. I had people telling me, like, one of the doctors was saying, like, I'm creating, like, borderline personality disorders by all that stuff. And I was just like, no, like, I really believe that this is going to work. And so I stopped telling people. I planned it for about, like, 6 months to a year. And then I opened. And then the next thing you know, like, well, first, I wouldn't say the next thing, you know, like the first couple of months, like nobody came. And I started like going to like networking groups and just trying to explain to people like what it is. And everybody just, no, like, what is that? Like, that's stupid. And I was like, oh my God, I just spent all this money and opened this business and nobody's showing up. But then I started to, I had to continue to believe in myself. So I started to do like press releases. And when I did press releases, people started to bite. And then next thing you know, like, I'm on a Super Bowl commercial. And, you know, I'm on Good Morning America, My 600-Pound Life. Like, everybody wants to film their reality TV shows at my spot. Because now it's very popular. And now, like, people are opening businesses all over the place, calling me, asking me for mentorships. Like, so basically, I created a space where people can go to break things. And you don't have to, like, be crazy to do it.
That was you're the creator of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, now I remember when I first saw that, and I thought to myself, that is a fucking brilliant idea. And that's all I thought, right? Because I you know, I'm going 100 miles an hour at all times. I mean, I was just talking to Derek. I mean, I have you as an entrepreneur, you know, you get stretched so thin.
Yeah.
But I can't believe that you're the person that created that. Let me tell you something. That was fucking brilliant. And
thank you.
I'm being dead fucking serious. And I'm talking to you as a business person right now. Okay. That is a brilliant fucking idea. And everything, listen, I can't tell you how many times people tell me when I said I was going to open up a gym. Number one thing, there's no money in gym. Don't do it. There's too many gyms here, this and that. People will try and talk you out of your fucking idea. And if you don't understand your why, you will get talked out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that you didn't let the naysayers, you didn't let them get in your ear. And I'm glad that you were persistent. And even when you doubted the concept and you doubted your decision, that you kept going. Because I'm on Google right now, and as you were talking, I'm like, holy shit, she's the one who created this. And now are you franchising this out?
Yeah. So I do offer franchises, and actually somebody's trying to buy the trademark from me right now. So I mean, it's been a long time. It's almost been 4 years now, and it's like really, really successful. And I can't believe, like, you know, what I created. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. You know what I thought?
What happened?
I said, you want to know what I thought when I seen it?
What?
I thought, man, you got to remember, I'm an inner city guy from the west side of the river in New Orleans. And I said, that's the whitest shit I ever seen in my fucking life, man. And look, wait. I did. I swear to God. And I said, man, I love being a Houstonian, man, because when I came here 20 some odd years ago, I remember going home, Jiffy, to my people, right? And just show you how small I was, right? Small minded and everything. I said, man, I was back in the hood, and I said, man, y'all gotta come see this shit, man. Black folks living in 2-story houses, and fucking everybody got a Suburban or fucking Mercedes, and my homies was like, what? I'm like, yeah, bro, this is, man, because in New Orleans, the divided line between haves and have-nots, it's just a haves and have-nots, right? And it's the same story everybody got in the hood. Somebody selling the most dope in the have-nots, so they think that's how you do it, right? But then when I came here, I remember telling people, I said, man, it's like the land of milk and honey, man. It's really like a person can go there, and if he works and invests in himself and drive, you can do it, bro. And I remember telling people, and you know, sometimes people are so small-minded that they can't fathom that, right? In fact, you could put them in that environment, and they'll run for it. They'll run from it. Subconsciously, they run for. They got to get back to what they know. I remember when Katrina hit, right, and the influx of New Orleans people here, man, and Houston opened its arms like Houston does, right, like no other place in the country I've been to, right, and that ain't the shit on nobody else. I'm saying Houston really did, man, open their arms, bro, and I'm talking about I've witnessed, and it happened to me. I witnessed people buying, you know, swiping their card because they heard the accent behind them, right? And they know they living in a fucking motel being paid by FEMA and shit. And they swiping their card, ain't saying nothing. I witnessed Houstonians jumping out the car if they see a Louisiana license plate, and you can see them giving money, man. And it ain't, you know, $100 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm praying for you. So sometimes that's too much for people, man. Sometimes, as crazy as that sounds, and I know you know with mental health stuff, it's too much for them, man, and they can't wait to get back to that ignorance and that lifestyle of being drunk or high, and because they actually it's a have-not mentality, right? And I'm not shitting on nobody because that's my people, right? But some of us stay and embrace that. And I remember when I seen your thing, I was like, man, it reminded me again of what people can do, man. People can, and despite whatever issue we got going on, whether it be who y'all, how y'all, what y'all, right? It doesn't matter because if a person and Fresh lives by this philosophy, I've watched him live by it, right? It doesn't matter. Look, these motherfuckers gonna try to stop you. They ain't gonna try to stop you because you're a Mexican. They gonna try to stop you because you're a woman or your zip code or whatever, you know. And I remember seeing that. So seeing Jiffy's thing, I said, man, look at that shit. If you can do that shit,
I want to share it. Let's watch this.
Go ahead.
Can you hear it?
This is Smash Therapy in Spring, Texas. It's a place to find inner peace. People said it wouldn't work.
A place where you smash things? That's stupid.
But Jennifer is a headstrong business owner.
So give me a call. I'll get you smashing in no time.
Head & Shoulders made this Super Bowl commercial so Jennifer could stay headstrong.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That was crazy. That was crazy. From there, I was like,
hey, so listen.
And a motherfucker made her feel like she was too. You was too. You know.
Yeah,
the motherfucker made you feel like you had to box yourself in. Nah.
I'm so glad that I didn't listen to people like.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to stay laser focused. But now I want to give you this bit of encouragement because you obviously are on the right track. You're very smart. Because it's evident doing what you do. So I'm not going to give you any advice. I'm going to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Leverage what you're doing over there with Smash Therapy to achieve your goals in boxing. You can absolutely leverage that business to give you that platform in boxing, and then you're going to see that boxing is going to give you the leverage to build your business. When you understand that boxing and business are so interchangeable, and I'm sure you do, you understand that you're in your personal journey, boxing and business should be so interchangeable that at any given moment, one is absolutely building the other. Because as your name is growing in boxing, all that's doing is giving exposure to your business. As your business is growing, all that is doing is giving you the resources to spend in boxing, whether it's time, whether it's travel, whether it's training, whether it's getting yourself on cards. You're in a beautiful spot right now. I'm inspired as a person and even as a fighter. I'm inspired by your story. I'm inspired by what you're doing, and I'm really impressed, man. And I'm not easily impressed when it comes to business and what you and how people are doing. So keep working it. And what I said earlier, it was a complete compliment because you look so young. I mean, you look like, so it wasn't a slight whatsoever. I think you have what it takes to continue your boxing career and be very, very, very marketable. What say? Marketable. Hey. You have the looks. You have the looks. You have the personality. You have that what's the word? The sass. You have that sassiness, but you have that intelligence. You have that business mentality because it's there. So I'm excited for you.
And I have the skill. Y'all need to see the skill.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know how long y'all two got. Because I want to touch your boxing if we can. For you got to go. Y'all got to go.
Wait, y'all talk for a second. I need a bathroom break. I got to pee. My God.
Handle your business. How you on time, Fresh?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I'm good too. I just didn't. I wanted to ask about Carlos and her trainers. And compare the trainers. How many fights she got, all that stuff. I seen a couple of clips of her sparring and working and shit, and she can fight. I've seen that she can fight. So, and I don't think that 32 thing is gonna work against her either. Because look at Danielle, bro. Yeah. Look at Danielle, bro.
Goes back to what we were saying. It's a boxer's market right now. You can fast track yourself into a position easy because the demand is there. They have spots. You just gotta have, the
push and the product and the push and the ability to handle business until they handle business for you.
And she's in an absolute great spot because you and I both know that the biggest issue when it comes to a boxer starting off is money to buy onto fights or to have opportunity. And when you have a business like she does, well, now all of a sudden that alleviates a lot of the
it frees her up for the time and all the train.
Yeah.
Also, those that she trusts to make sure she's getting the right people to fight. Kicking out, starting out and shit. Don't let her overmatch and stuff while she's focusing on everything else, man. Like I said, she's over there with the right people, man. I can't say enough how much I fuck with Bobby and Aaron. You know that, bro. And they not gonna just throw out there on the fucking, they're not gonna throw out there without telling her, hey, this ain't a good one, or this is a good one right now for you. You know what I'm saying? I know that was kind of reason why Jericho had moved around for a little bit and he's back now. But I know there was a discrepancy about opponents. About like Bob was like, look, man, I don't think this is the right fight for us right now. So and he did. So he went on and now he's back. But to and let's get into the boxing, but to Jiffy, to Fresh's point, I use the fact that I don't know nothing else to leverage my boxing because I can't do other shit. So I just do boxing. See how it works for me?
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, baby. Entrepreneur. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it, son. I didn't even know it. Jiffy. I was saving that for her. So you were boxing in California. You get here, and you're boxing with Carlos, right? That was first.
I trained with Melvin Malone for a little bit, and then him and Carlos trained me together.
Okay, so you was rocking with Carlos. For how many fights or how long you was rocking with Carlos?
Probably had like 20 something fights with Carlos.
Okay, and I don't know if you want to touch on it, but you ended up leaving him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carlos, and then where did you end up after that?
After I left Carlos, I went to Jermel, but then I ended up going back to Carlos.
Who was training you by Jermel?
Jermel was.
Oh, he was training.
Yeah.
He was a pro and shit by then, right?
Yeah, he was a pro.
I don't know the time frames we talking about. Okay,
that was in 2014, 15.
That was exactly when I was out the game, 14 and 15. So you was did you have fights with Jermel or no?
I did. I actually only had one fight with Jermel.
Okay. And then you went from Jermel back to Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have what was the length of time did you stay with?
I think I stayed with Jermel probably like 6-7 months, and then I went back to Carlos. Actually, I may have taken a break. No, I went back to Carlos at that day because like the thing. Okay, so when I was with Jermel, like at that point I had already built my brand, and I actually went to him after I went to the Nationals. Me and Q went to the Nationals together. That was the first Nationals that. I'm so glad. Like, I love Q. Oh my God, we had so much fun. But like we both just did like a bad job. Like he didn't win. He didn't actually feel good. And me, I didn't make weight. I missed weight by like a pound. And Q was sitting with me, like I sat in the sauna. I spit. I did everything that I could do for like 8 hours straight. And I started my cycle and I couldn't lose a pound. And so I was just like, well, fuck it. I'm not about to go to the weigh-ins. So so they're over here calling my name, and he's like, Jiffy, they calling you. And I'm like, I don't care. I didn't go. Like, so, and it wasn't Carlos's fault. It was my fault. But I was in the mind frame that we should have did more. You could have done more. And I was pissed off at him because I was fighting at 106. And I said, look, just move me up to 112. And he was like, no, sweetie, I'm not moving you up to 112. And because he was like, you didn't earn that. And he did right. Like, Carlos, he's a very respectable man. He served as my father for a long time. He like, him and his wife, they've been there for my kids, like everything. But awesome. I was so upset. I was like, well, why you didn't let me fight? Like, let me fight at 112. But he was like, you didn't earn that. Like you're not fighting. So after we got back, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna find somebody else. And I went to Jermel, and first I contacted Ronnie Shields, and Ronnie Shields was like, I don't train amateurs. Like, Jermel trains amateurs. So and then I just got caught up in all of that. Like, I just got caught up in, all right, I got a name for myself. I want to be, where him and his brother is. And then I just let it all get in my head. Like, you don't need to be like that right now. You don't need to be like that as an amateur. And after all of that, the fight that I had with Jermel, I thought I won, but I lost. And I was like, hell no. I was like, no, this is not, like, everything just kind of added up. And it was like, okay, well, we didn't really get a lot of respect when we went to the fights either. It's like they saw him in my corner and was like, what are they doing? They over here showing out, and it just, like, it didn't represent me well. It didn't make me feel like I'm not super confrontational. I don't like negativity really. Like I don't talk shit about people. Like I just boast myself up and I stay true to who I am, and I'm not gonna knock nobody else. And that kind of energy that I received when we were all together, I didn't like it. And everything just kind of played out how it was supposed to. But from that, I probably stayed like a month or so after that with him, and then I left.
So then you went back to Carlos. How many more fights did you have with him, or length of time you was back with him?
I went back to Carlos and was with him for 2 years after that, and then I got pregnant.
Okay, and then, so that's when you went away from boxing.
Yeah, so I got pregnant in probably like a year and a half. I got pregnant in 2016, and then I had the baby in January of 2017. And then after I had him, probably like about 6 months later, I ended up going to CDM to train, but just to train. Like I wasn't trying to fight or anything. And I kind of like stayed there for a little bit, but then I was like, I don't like this either. And then I got pregnant again in 2018. So I'm just kind of glad that things happened the way it happened, because, like having kids rooted me, having the business, rooted me, and just being able to like just grab different things from life.
Hey, the mother is here and wants breakfast.
The mother is here. Where's her breakfast?
I'm coming.
Give the mother her breakfast.
I didn't know you was doing your breakfast.
Yeah, she said she didn't know we was recording. Hey, baby, the puppy's just been knocked out.
Tell Ms. Ross I said Happy Mother's Day.
Fresh say Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
I said Happy Mother's Day.
Jiffy did too. That's what we interviewing young fighter. She said thank you, thumbs up.
I would come on camera and say thanks, but I don't look very motherly.
Oh, baby, you do. Nobody taking no different. Yeah, Callie puppy ain't been up yet. She got that apartment now. I got that big ass thing for my dog that I didn't go get, and so I had to go get a new kennel, Jiffy. I say, man, this thing big enough for. I'm gonna get a moving truck and get some furniture. She could go upstairs in this motherfucker. She been knocked out. She don't even want to get out, man. She got a new house, man.
Dang.
But Q had one at the gym in Fresh Commerce. Said, man, Q got this big ass thing up here, man. Come get it. I went and got that motherfucker too. But yeah, so would you say Carlos is your base? Would you say he's your fundamentals, right? He taught you to fight.
Absolutely. When I went to Main Street and after about a week of being there, I got on the mitts with Aaron. And Aaron was like, damn, like you can box. He said, he's like, your fundamentals are strong. And I was like, yeah, do you know Carlos Moreno? Like he trained me.
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, I know him. And so I'm still close with Carlos. Like we talk to each other, and I called him and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, good job, because Aaron said that, I'm good, I'm fundamentally sound, and I'm just grateful. So yeah.
I know Carlos well, man. I'm trying to get more trainers involved in the podcast, but man, you know how trainers are, man. I don't know if they think they're gonna give away some secrets or so. I don't know, man, but the trainers don't really Carmen's been on here a couple times, huh, Fred? 2-3 times maybe, Carmen. And I want to reach out to Paisley because I see them two a fight. And Paisley got fights, and Carmen's making a debut. You been in the ring with any of them?
I saw Paisley, but not with Carmen. We're not okay. So me, Paisley, Carmen, we're not the same weight. I used to fight at 106. I sparred Paisley. I rarely sparred her in the amateurs, but like coming back, I sparred her because we're still like maybe a 10-15 pound difference. But I've never sparred Carmen.
Carmen's bigger than you too?
Yeah, I think Carmen fight at like 125.
Yeah.
And right now I'm at 115, so I'm gonna go between like 108 and 112.
Yeah, you little bitty, man. When you walked up to me at the gloves, you was like, "Hey, coach, now we get to meet Man, you was a little bit and young looking, like Fresh was saying. I didn't know you was 30 years old, man. I thought you was a kid, kind of like early 20s or something, man. But shit, you a business owner and mama and everything. Hey, man.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, very, very. So can we get a little handicapping? What you think's gonna happen with that fight? Do you think it's wise for Carmen to take a gal who's got experience, or what you think? Again, the girls have to fight people.
Yeah,
the girls can't really cream puff.
I was just thinking, like, no fight is a bad choice. You got to start somewhere, and they're very different. Carmen, she's like a star in the amateurs, and Paisley is the underdog, and Paisley loves that. Like Paisley definitely has the it factor, and Paisley, she's super strong. She's fundamentally sound. Carlos trained her for a long time too. Like, that's how Paisley and I met. We met back in 2015 when I left Charlo, and she was training with Carlos, and we trained together for years.
Hey, she at Maine too, right? She's at Maine too, huh?
Yeah. For a while, she stopped. She retired, but I was like, "Girl, you coming back?" But she came back.
Who she works with at Maine?
She works
who's her trainer?
She works with
Aaron Navarro. I tell you what, man, I wanna, and I haven't mentioned it, but I'll reach out. Now, Paisley, I never met her. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I never met her. I know who she is. I don't watch the fight on the next fight up card. Maybe 2 of them she fought on.
Yeah.
I've seen her fight. Yeah, she's scrappy, man. I want Fresh to do one of his face-off shows, where they both it ain't ugly or nothing. They just get on there together and we talk about the fight and try to hype up the fight closer to the fight. I would love to reach out to her. I don't know her, but I guess I can reach out to her through social maybe or something.
No, we'll go ahead. You can edit this part out, but I want to go.
Yeah, I would love to get Paisley on here and Carmen's a friend of the show. She speaks to everything. Like I said, Carlos is my partner. Aaron's my partner. Me and Aaron's tight as alligator ass. That's waterproof.
So Carmen,
we can get him on there. Huh?
We can go ahead and make it official and invite him on. I'd like to personally invite them on to do a face-off in the Soapboxing Podcast.
Yeah, this is Houston, man. This is Houston. We ain't picking sides or nothing, man. Get them on there. Let's do the damn thing.
Carmen and Parsley, you are officially invited to do a face-off before the big fight.
Paisley, like where Prince used to record.
My English is like Canelo's.
All right, so what's I know when we talked at the gym, maybe you was talking about the summertime, right? Summertime, you trying to get something for your debut, right?
Yeah. So we're aiming for the summer. I know that Bobby told one of the promoters, like, hey, she's ready, find her a fight. So hopefully, it happens in the summer. If not, whenever I'm ready, I'm telling you, I'm in there every single day. I spar every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm like, I do my strength and conditioning, like, I'm good. So
hey, Joe, the Dutchman, man, get Jiffy on the show, man. I don't know if LT raised shit's full, but that's pretty soon. But Joe, I know y'all got a couple dates, man. Let's get this thing popping, bro. Joe's Reservoir, whatever his last name, man. I call him the Dutchman. I always fuck his last name up. You know what I'm talking about, the lawyer. How you say his last name?
Villarreal? Is that what you're talking about?
No, Joe, the Dutchman, man. Joe Velzevelt. Vinderville.
I'm glad I'm not the only one fucking up names today.
That boy's name is Svelte. It's beautiful. It's like velvet. That's my dude, man. Joe, I fuck with Joe heavy. We're gonna get one of them next fight ups or something, or whatever else comes through, man. We gotta get Jiffy's debut behind us, man, and go on to the next one. It's gonna be a beautiful thing, man.
In whatever time it needs to happen, it's God's timing, like, and I'm ready. I'm gonna be prepared for whatever. And I know, like, I got a lot of people, on my side too. So people are like,
hey, we gonna do that. Once I know you wasn't dyeing your hair red and your Irish, it's home team like a motherfucker, man. We going to the
I had
moon.
to go a little bit more natural. Because I was dyeing it like a bright red. But I was like, I don't want to look like that anymore. Like, I don't want to look like a cartoon character. Like, I'm tired of people saying that I'm a cartoon character. So I just want to look like more normal. And this is like me rebranding the new me.
There you go.
I'm not even sure if I still want to continue like the whole Princess of Boxing thing. Like, I feel like I'm grown now. So I'm not sure.
Well, I like that though. I like this shit. I think that's nice. But
whatever you decide to do is going to be the right move. I can tell you that. Okay. Don't second guess your moves moving forward. You're in the perfect fucking spot. Even if there's moments where you might not feel like it, trust me, you in the right spot. Keep doing what you're doing. Never fucking let other people try to dim your shine. Get away from those people. Get away from them. And keep surrounding yourself with the great team over there at Main Man, Bobby, Aaron, and you got us to support you anytime you need to promote anything. Come holler at us. We got your back. He likes you because you're Irish. I like you because you got that entrepreneur spirit. You're using boxing and business together, and you're gonna do amazing things. I'm super excited for you, man. I'm super excited.
Us white people got to stick together, bro. We the minority in boxing, man. I'm trying to get some. What's that? Damn, shit. That was gonna be funny. Affirmative action. Yeah, affirmative action. We try to get some affirmative action.
I take no part in these conversations.
I do all that uncomfortable.
They're not gonna come after me with torches.
We do this. And I think I skipped it with no, I wasn't on with our guy, man. Last week you was on with him. I was at the gloves, man. We do this overrated, underrated, or what's the term, Fred? On point. I'm gonna name a few boxers for you, women boxers, and you tell me, do you think they're overrated or underrated or on point? That's where they at. People, what you think? You ready?
Okay. I hope I know them all. Okay, I'm ready.
Well, I'm gonna stick with the biggest, so you know. I ain't gonna. All right. Michaela Mayer, underrated, overrated.
Baby. She on point.
All right. Sanisa Estrada.
On point.
On point. Marlene Esparza. Overrated, underrated.
Underrated. She's underrated. She's on point and underrated. I remember Marlene was the first girl that I was like, oh my God, like they let women in Olympics. Like, at that point I wasn't even living in Houston. And I never even got to meet her, like, which is crazy. But
yeah, she's a friend of the show, man, and she comes on there, and I think that's Fresh's boxing play wife. And so he that's another one. He tries to beef with my boxing play wife. It ain't going down like that though. See, they try to start that shit, man, with the quote. But I ain't gonna let them. They try to put me in a hot seat every time, Jiffy. I ain't gonna let them do it though. Jessica McCaskill, overrated, underrated, or on point?
Oh, controversial, man.
What you think? Tell me.
I think that she.
What you think? You ain't gotta. It's not nothing personal.
I think that she and whoever is like in her ear is very like controversial, and it doesn't like. I don't know if that does justice like for women. Like I don't know if it does justice for us to try to match the energy of the men and just like be ugly and negative. I'm not sure. And I just pray that I find the right way. But I do think that she has skill. I think that she's on point skill level for sure.
Right.
But the way that she's handling herself, I'm not a fan.
Okay, I follow you. Here's one, man, that I'm on the fence about. Let me say this, and it's gonna sound crazy. that I'm gonna put my neck out to. I believe Katie Taylor's overrated. As great as she is, as great as she is, as great as she is, I believe when I sit there and hear people think, like, especially, if Clarissa could come down close, you know, they could. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind, man? I don't even think it'll be competitive. That's me. So what I'm saying is they dumped the accolades on Katie Taylor, and maybe I'm not immune to favoritism, I guess. But I feel like they dumped the accolades, and she's Irish. I want to watch her. She's from the island, right? So I like her. I'm a fan, but I feel like she gets dumped. They dumped the praise on her, and then refuse. Like when I see people, Katie Taylor, and I see her in these hard fights with these girls. That's that white girl wasn't because Katie got her in a rematch, but it was a little stiff. But that first one, Katie might have lost that fight, man. And I'm just saying, I think she gets, and it may be because she's not outspoken, maybe, and maybe that's what they want. But I feel like she gets the praise for being the fighter that Clarissa Shields is, technically. Not the mouthpiece, not the image or none of that shit. I'm not comparing images. People are usually Katie Taylor type people, like that type of, or Clarissa, right? I tend to be the Katie Taylor type of dude, believe it or not, with my fighters. I kind of like those types. The GWOAT is something different, man. And I just feel like, man, y'all may be overrating this girl, because when I watch well, go ahead. Before I say that, what you got? Overrated, underrated, right on point?
Overrated. Katie is a beast. Like if you watch like her coming up in the Olympics, like she dominated everybody. Like Katie is a beast. I don't think she's overrated. I think she might be a little underrated. I think like, what? No, go ahead. She is, to me, she's on point. Like I think he's like, people want to fight like her. They want to box like her. Like women want to be able to have like a good comparison to the male. Like a lot of like, they always say like women, we fight harder, which we do. We have a lot more heart, but sometimes when we are too emotional, we lack the skill. And I don't see Katie lacking that. I don't see her like getting in her head and forgetting how to box when she gets in the ring. Like some of us.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. She's poised. Even when it's not going her way, right? She remains poised if she starts catching a few, and she's got to come back and make an adjustment. I agree with you. I totally agree with that. But Fresh, I ain't getting yours, man. Katie Taylor, you familiar with her?
Yeah, I think she's on point.
Okay,
I don't have too much more insight other than she's on point.
Okay. Amanda Serrano. The Puerto Rican.
She's on point. She's on point.
Okay.
Like the Serrano sisters.
Yeah, I think she's a little underrated because
for sure.
I think people don't talk about her enough, if you ask me. And I was one of the ones. Yeah, I was one of the ones who was doing it without even realizing it. Right, I was not giving her shine that I should have been. And that fight the other day reminded me, like, shit, I don't be talking about her enough. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of last but not least, what did you feel about what's her name, man? Jessica beat her twice. Cecilia Breakers. Overrated, underrated. And it's old. I mean, I for all intents and purposes, I think this was the end. Even if she fights a few more times, she's out of her prime, I think. So I guess we're looking at her as a career hole. What you think?
You know, I think Cecilia doesn't get enough credit. Like I feel like you'll see, like, she'll get in there with anybody. And maybe, you know, it didn't go in her favor both times with Jessica, but I think that she is underrated. But I mean, I guess nobody's really gonna give credit if they're not seeing like a consistent level of wins. But I don't think she's out of her prime. I think that she just needs to continue to go back to the drawing board and make adjustments.
And Jessica just was yin to yang, probably, huh? That
probably. Sometimes we run into people where we fight 3-4 times and just can't get the win. Like, look how many times Jeannie and Marlene fought, and eventually what happened?
Yeah, man. Man, look at that. I just named 4, 5, 6 girls that I think are pop. I think people know, boxing people know these names, and it's a plethora of women, man, coming up and constantly coming. And I think women's boxing is on fire. I really do. I think it's on fire. And
I think it's next. I think it's next. I think it's next. It's gonna have its moment to shine and really take off
and I want to be in that list of names when people are like, "Oh, what do you think about?" You know.
Right. So you gotta get them win. You gotta get the fights in and start getting on deck, because you get on deck with 10 fights, man. Inside 10 fights, they start talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, who's this girl coming? Or y'all.
I think this time next year we're going to be talking about, look what happened in this last year.
Yeah. I believe so. Are y'all as nervous as I am with Clarissa doing this MMA, man? I'm shaking like a dog shit razor blades, man.
Like, I'm excited to see it. Like, I love it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Like, you nervous because you like, oh my baby.
This is the thing, man. This is the thing. I've got to be 100%. I got to be brutally transparent and honest, man. I believe when these MMA guys come to the boxing ring, they don't belong there. Why? Because I've preached this from the very get-go. This is 2 different sports. Yeah, it's a fight over there. It's a fight over here. But it's completely different kind of fight, man. Yeah. And these MMA guys think throwing punches is boxing, and it's not. Punching is the punching part is just one facet of boxing that takes place. It's a moving part. Like Fresh likes to say, moving parts. This is a moving part with a buku shit going on. And these guys and girls have made it like breathing. So you think it's just they fighting, right? So the MMA guy, I mean, you see it. They chunking punches from out of left field, and they heads right there. So they get in a boxing ring, and it's like going from kindergarten to college, and they get embarrassed. Well, I've got to believe that over there, it's got to be the same kind of science, regardless. Say if they can't box, that wrestling and that fucking jiu-jitsu and submission game, that shit is science too, man.
Yeah, and but look what happened with Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey. Like, everybody was like, Ronda Rousey's gonna whoop her ass, but Holly Holm got the boxing background. Do we got the luxury of hindsight because MMA is so fucking, it's been around 20 years, 30. I remember I was in high school when the first UFC and shit, and back then it wasn't weight class. It hadn't evolved to what it is today. I think we have the luxury of hindsight with the MMA because it's such an infantile stage, right? And I really think that poor Ronda Rousey, man, there's no way she wasn't getting beat up in the gym sparring and shit, unless she wasn't sparring and shit and just sparring with her trainer, right? And gym team, and they just wasn't taking advantage of her because they really swooped that girl up and she bought completely in. I mean, she was on TV, but it wasn't just her. It was the fucking. It was the public. You know, when she was up there, I watched this gal say she would whoop Floyd Mayweather, and I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? And I would see it online, bro. Like people saying,
yeah, maybe not in the boxing ring, but you put him in that cage. I'm like, dude, that's a dude. That's a dude. That's the greatest fighter of the last 25 years. He's gonna punch her in a fucking arm, bro. And
I'm
she'll
like,
fucking
please, hit me 50% and I might fall out.
Oh man, I was like, man, that shit. Are you serious, man? Y'all really? And then people was like, Coach, you just a boxing guy. No. I'm not shitting on MMA at all. It's a fight. I'll watch it. But this girl, and then here comes Holly Holm, a girl who can box, and really left boxing because she got her hat handed to her a couple of times, right? But I'm not taking nothing from her boxing career because she had a tremendous career as a boxer. And she goes in there because she can throw straight punches. She cooks this fucking girl and basically ruins her fucking career. It's over with. You know, her confidence is gone. So I just worry, man, and I hope that this PFL is set up in a way, and I don't understand. I watched it the other day because one of our former opponents went back to MMA and he competed, and he was fighting some former UFC guy who was supposed to be top flight. And Clay whooped that boy like he didn't belong in the ring with him, right? And I talked to his coach prior to the fight, the day of the fight. I was like, man, how Clay's looking for this? And he said, Coach, this is the biggest fight of our career. This kid, I forgot his name, but he's world renowned as MMA. He's like, this is a real fight, you know? And I said, well, shit, tell Clay we rooting for him here in Houston and shit. Man, Clay went in there and dog walked this fucking boy, man, for 3 rounds. But I hope Clarissa gets put in a situation to where her strengths, she can use them, and she's not overmatched. You see what I'm saying? Like, because that MMA shit, man, them girls, if one of them girls can if at her and just grab one of them ankles and flip her up, I don't know what happens after that. You know what I'm saying?
Coming up, huh?
June 10th. June 10th. Hey man,
30 days.
I know. I'm excited, and I think that she wouldn't put herself in a position that she doesn't feel like physically, mentally, and emotionally ready for it. I think Clarissa's a smart girl. And I don't believe that she has people behind her that have ill intentions. I think that she's able to pick up vibes and energy, and I think she's gonna do good. Like when somebody has that spark, that fire, like that they're a fighter on the inside, there is nothing that's going to be able to stop them. And I believe that about Clarissa.
Well, if she goes in there and sparks this girl, hits her right on the button, I'm not going to be shocked. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, all right, that's what we needed to do.
But they're going to be expecting that from her. But we don't know what she's actually been working on. She probably has been working on this for longer than we know about.
When she was on the podcast, she was fooling with MMA because she was telling us about it. And that was at the beginning of the pandemic. At the beginning, man, she was fooling with it. And I was like, oh, you serious? She's like, yeah, I'm doing this shit. So
it's almost been a full year, a year plus.
Yeah,
like, once you feel confident and comfortable enough, that's when you say, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Well, guys, what y'all think? This was a good one, man.
Yeah. Man, we appreciate you stopping in and spending this time with us, man. Especially on Mother's Day. You got any plans for today?
I'm not sure. My kids are not here, but I'm about to go get them. I know that I cannot do an interview with these kids. Like, it's not possible. So I made arrangements to make sure that we could have a good interview.
Well, we appreciate it, man. I hope you have a very, very happy Mother's Day. And where can people find you at?
You can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Jiffy Morales. Jiffy Morales. And
then they can go. Where can they set up an appointment or go check out your business?
Oh, it's SmashTherapyLLC.com. We take all of our reservations online. Please don't DM me trying to get a reservation.
There you go. I'm gonna have to come check it out. For sure. Yeah, man, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you coming on. Again, I just want to continue to encourage you. Do your thing, man. It is all on you. You get to write the next couple of chapters in your book because you have positioned yourself where you are at. Don't let the naysayers tell you otherwise. Do you be persistent, stay laser focused, man. And I can't wait to have you back on the show after your first debut fight and talk about the victory and talk about what's next.
Yeah.
Also, before we sign off, we wanna pay respects and send our prayers and our thoughts out to Ray Antavias. He passed away. I believe it was yesterday. Another Houston legend. It's been a tough year or two for the Houston boxing community. Man, I just have no words, man. Our thoughts and prayers to his family and to the boxing community. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep making them proud. We're going to keep doing our part to ensure that their legacies continue to live. Other than that, man, Coach, you got any last words?
Oh man, just appreciate you coming on. I know I had to cancel on you yesterday. I apologize again. This was a great discussion, and hit me up anytime to come back on just for your fight. Prior to the fight, we can soup it up. After the fight, after you win, or whatever, man. It don't matter. Just hit me up, man. We team Jiffy over here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all.
All right. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Go.